Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. To get the most out of this video, I suggest listening to the report while you're cleaning or exercising, maybe creating something or driving down the road. Listen to the intro so that you know what's going to affect you and when it's going to happen in the week ahead. Lastly, use the timestamps in the description to go to your rising sign, sun sign, and moon sign in order to learn how things will affect you personally. I'd like to point out that this will be a general read. We're looking at the general influence of the stars upon our life. If you would like to know something more specific about your life and how the stars are specifically interacting with you, I would suggest getting a reading with a professional astrologer. You can do so with me through the link in the description below if you would like. But I reiterate, this is a general read. I'd like to give a special welcome to anyone who is new to astrology. You're so welcome here at this channel. If you would like to learn to read your own astrology chart, I offer a short course. It's very cheap and it's lots of fun. The link is in the description below. To all of my friends who join me here each week, who like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel, I do love you. To my gold and silver and bronze star family members, I do pray for you every day. I thank the universe for your presence in my life. If anyone would like to join the Guiding Star family, the link is also in the description below. And now to this week's Spotlight. Hello and welcome to this week's New Moon Report. We're looking at the new moon in Taurus at 21 degrees of Taurus this week. If you're after the specific times and locations for your part of the world, check the description box below. But for most of us, it's happening on the 12th of May. So if you are on my YouTube channel, stick with me for a review of the chart of this new moon. If you are a Patreon, then you will get the full version of this video, which includes right energy space to try and create for this this new moon to get the most out of it, as well as a breakdown for each sign. So let's dive right in. So the chart of this new moon has a couple of really interesting aspects to it, and the strongest aspects are going to be a beautiful sextile to Neptune. Here's the new moon in Taurus here at 21 degrees and a trine to Pluto. So we've got some really wonderful benevolent aspects between the new moon and the two most outer planets in the solar system, celestial planets. Now, those of us who are familiar with astrology know that the celestial planets are not able to be seen with the naked eye. They correlate very much to our inner self because they're invisible, and it's the old Hermetic principle, as above, so below. What you observe in the heavens plays out in the material observation of life. What is unseen in the heavens, in this case Neptune and Pluto, plays out in the psychological, inner, emotional side of life. So we're going to get a touch of some very powerful planets at a very deep psychological level. Let's break that down a little further. What does it mean when we're having a new moon, the sun and moon together, making a sextile, in this case, to Neptune? Now, mistake, this one's not going in the bloopers, but Jupiter will not yet be in the sign of Pisces when this new moon occurs. He's moving in 2 days after, so that was a mistake on my board, which I've now fixed. But we do have the sextile to Neptune. What does that mean when there's Neptune sextiling the new moon? Well, it gives us a positive emotional experience. So this is going to be a great new moon for feeling sensitized with our emotions. Yes, our emotions will be strong, but they're going to be strong in a good way. We will be feeling emotionally, let's say, calm, emotionally deep, emotionally connected to the divine under this energy. So it's like we will feel spirit emotionally in all things that we observe happening under this new moon. You know, we'll see it as, this is part of the flow. This is part of divine energy playing out in my life. So whatever happens under the new moon, you will feel emotionally buoyant, knowing that the divine has your back, knowing that fate is playing its hand for the greater good. That's the energy of Neptune, sensitizing your emotions and bringing those sort of fated experiences into this particular new moon. Now, coupled with that, Neptune is a very compassionate energy. It is a very empathic energy. So we're going to feel empathic towards our fellow man, towards all people we're in relationship with. We're going to feel compassionate towards people and the oneness of the universe. So I love it. It's a very gentle, beautiful, flowing energy. And there is an attraction to generally positive people and positive experiences that comes because of Neptune's influence here. So we will find that we will probably experience more pleasurable circumstances, more kindly people, just nicer people, friendlier people. You know, when we hold the door open for someone, they'll actually say thank you, that kind of thing. Just nice experiences of not politeness. The example I gave was probably an example of politeness, but just an experience or experiences on this day that are beautiful. In fact, care and compassion and kindness, they tend to flow effortlessly under this influence. If you are in a situation where you have connections, like I live in a house with my 3 children, if you're in a relationship with a partner, if you have dear friends, if you're in a house sitting situation, you will probably feel a deeper connection with those people in your home sphere. Moon is home sphere, under the energy of the new moon connecting to Neptune. So you will feel more, not intensity, but just a deeper bonding with those people. If you work in fields of creative expression, then you might find that your ideas and imagination are a bit off the Richter scale in the best possible way with this. It's a very benevolent combination for success in creative endeavors. So you might get some really good ideas that come to you under this new moon. But if you are not in a field where you do that for a living, you know, but you enjoy painting for a hobby, or you like to write poetry in your spare time, then this is a great energy for getting those intuitive hits for your creativity, which could be really lovely. So it's an energy, this moon in the very grounded sign of Taurus. It's an energy for feeling calm, feeling mellow, and because of Neptune's influence, feeling dreamy, psychic, and meditatively mellow. So it's a lovely energy for just flowing with the universe. I love it. I can't wait. What about the trine from the new moon to Pluto? What does that indicate for this particular chart? Well, similar to the Neptune aspect, this one is going to enhance the emotional sensitivity that we have at this time, and our psychic perception also is going to be amped up too. In fact, this is probably the stronger of the two aspects, because trines are stronger than sextiles generally. We notice their influence more. So this Pluto is going to bring us, like I said, enhanced psychic perception and emotional sensitivity to what is going on around us. We'll be empathically picking up on what is happening in the world around us. But the difference between Pluto and Neptune is that these perceptions, these psychic experiences, these emotional, like heightened emotional experiences, they are going to serve a purpose to transform us, to change us, to evolve us, which is, I think, wonderful. The good thing is they're going to transform us with ease and grace. It's not like we're going to be sort of butting heads with other people and the tension and the friction is going to change who we are. No, this is just going to be an inner, remember, these two planets have to do with inner change first before we see external change as a result of that in our world. So an inner change and an inner transformation that will just come effortlessly without having to. In fact, quite frankly, I feel like I'm tapping into this kind of feeling at the moment. There's been, since the full moon in Scorpio, I've been really doing a lot of purging, doing a lot of releasing, which I talked about in the full moon of Scorpio video. Lots of letting go of old stuff that I didn't even know was still a layer in my psyche. But lo and behold, it's come up, and lots of getting rid of it. And then we're moving into this energy, and the transformation comes as a result of the full moon in Scorpio, yes, but also as a result of the ease that is flowing between Pluto and the new moon. Pluto is transformation. And so we're not going to even really have to try to make this transformation happen. It's just going to occur. And remember, Pluto's retrograding as well, which is a great influence, in my opinion, because I'm all for psychological work, for going deep inward, not externalizing our power, which is a Pluto direct thing, externalizing our power, projecting our psychological self out into the world. No, it's about, let's look within, let's transform what's within, let's find our inner personal power for our own life and our own benefit. I love it. I think it's going to be very important. So because we've got the feminine luminary, the moon, and the masculine luminary, the sun, together in the moon's exaltation, I might add as well, where it's very powerful, and the moon is so connected to relationships in general. Venus is the planet of relationships, but we live in a day and age where emotions are why we get together. If we are emotionally attracted to someone, or we feel emotionally good in someone's presence, that is a big component of why we get together and have relationships. So here in the exaltation of the moon, the planet of emotional connectivity, with a beautiful trine to Pluto that transforms us, tells us that relationships may be the key that transforms us under this new moon influence. Relationships will change us, they will fulfill us, and they will transform us deeply at this time. So because this is the new moon before the eclipse, and when we're looking at eclipses can be active up to a month before they occur. We need to pay attention to what's been happening since the full moon in Scorpio, right through this new moon in Taurus and up until the eclipse in Gemini, or Sagittarius rather, full moon eclipse in Sagittarius. We need to be looking at who has come into our lives new. What new friends have we made? What new contacts have we made? What new lessons have we learnt? What new experiences have we gone through? What have we reconnected with and revisited? Look at anything that is out of the ordinary that has occurred since the full moon in Scorpio, and we're getting a big hint as to what might be transformed in our lives at the eclipse. This new moon in Taurus is no exception to that either. Any new relationships, particularly under this influence, that you are a part of, that you have experienced, or that come into your life now, are going to have a significant effect to change and transform and grow you. Now, Pluto is a very karmic planet. He's actually the karma of trauma and suffering. And there's a great deal of detail I could go into about what that means for us in each house placement and so on. But you might need to get a reading with me to explore that topic. However, with a trine aspect, it can indicate, because Pluto is also a planet of therapeutic healing, it can indicate healing of past life traumas, sufferings, and wounds when it's connecting, in this case, to the powerful new moon in Taurus. So anyone new that you meet, again, any new experiences that you have under this energy could well be taking you into a period of karmic fruiting or even karmic healing for your psyche. So it is a powerful transformative time, not only on an immediate level in the world that you're living in now, but maybe even in a past life context as well, in the overall journey of your soul. So what's the overall theme then with this chart? What are the main influences that are going to be unfolding for us all in general? Remember, this is a general read. What are the main influences that are going to be unfolding for us all with this new moon? Well, it's an important time for transforming our lives in a positive sense with regard to Taurian things. Now, that would be finances, values, what we value, what we deem as being important, and a lot of that's been going through a transformation since the full moon in Scorpio too. What you have valued, what you thought you wanted in terms of relationships and money and possessions and what is beautiful, these things have been being transformed since then. This new moon is going to continue that transformation. So a positive transformation with, as I said, values, a positive transformation with our sensory experiences. Maybe we haven't been having many sensory experiences. Maybe we've been sort of a bit out on a limb, not having fine food, not having, I don't know, luxurious clothing or something like that, or tactile experiences with a lover or whatever. And lo and behold, along comes this new moon and we can suddenly dive into those things again and start enjoying those sensory experiences. Very Taurian. Like I said, relationships could be a source of transformation. Being in nature is definitely a Taurian thing, so that can be a source of transformation for you. I'm going to make sure that I get out under this new moon energy and go and sit by my favorite spot by the river under the river gums in Australia. Also, the arts can be positively transforming as well. So expect to see changes in all those Taurus-ruled realms as part of the theme for this. And by change, I mean transformation of your values with those things. Now, keep in mind that these transformations that I'm talking about, they're not going to come like a sudden lightning bolt, as would be the case with Uranus. They're more likely to be a bit more infiltrating because of Neptune's influence, a bit more sort of stealthy, the fog creeping in, but they're also going to come at an internal level first. You're going to change within your perceptions of what you need in life and what you value in life. They'll go through a bit of a shift because of this energy, and then that will tend afterwards to manifest in your external experience. You may have always thought that you valued certain qualities in a partner, and then you go through this particular new moon in an easy, benevolent way. Those values of what you thought you wanted in a partner are transformed. Lo and behold, you change your perspective, you change your values within, and it brings in a partner who now meets those changed values in your life. You see how the internal then reflects in the external experience. It's just one example. Now, what is interesting in the horary astrology is that the final aspect that's being made by the moon when it's in the sign of Taurus, it's actually going to make a square to Jupiter, not under the new moon, but as its final aspect before it leaves the sign of Taurus, the moon. And so that's actually an indicator that things that we start under this new moon energy may not have the best results because it's making a square aspect before it leaves the sign of Taurus. Now, that might seem a little bit odd. Don't we usually start things under new moon, initiate things, set intentions? Well, that's what most astrologers will tell you, but in truth, the moon is invisible when it is in a conjunction with the sun. And it's invisible for like a day or two before it conjuncts with the sun at the new moon, and then a day or two after. And it's not a good time to start anything new. The moon is not seen, and the moon is a manifesting planet. So if you want to initiate something, make new intentions, blah, 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 don't do it under the new moon. Do it when the moon first becomes visible. And it's going to be doing that when it's moved into Gemini. So again, another reason why trying to initiate something new under the new moon is not the best idea with this particular new moon. It's more of a time for internalizing and thinking through and going deep about certain issues and topics in readiness for when the moon becomes visible in Gemini. Well, we'll say sayonara to our YouTube friends now. And for those of us who are patrons watching this video, we're going to move on now to how we can use this energy for our highest good. We'll be talking about working with the setting intentions period of the moon and the dark of the moon. We'll be talking about that. And we're also going to break down what this new moon will mean for each sign. So thank you for joining us on YouTube. And thank you, beautiful patrons, for being here this week. All right, so new moon energy. What does it mean in general? Well, it has to do with naivety and innocence. Like it's fresh, it's new, like a brand new baby. So there's this purity about it, this sort of new start, new opportunity, all the promise. When you hold a brand new baby in your arms and you look at it and think, wow, the world is your oyster. You could, at this point in your life, you could do anything that you want to do, little one. And there's this promise that is present in the innocence of a child. And the same with a new moon. There is promise present in a new moon going forward into the coming month. So it's the energy of a new seed sown. We can't wait to see what blossoms, and we're fresh and we're ready to go. A bit like the energy of Aries in the chart, actually. Now, if we think about that Aries energy, we can also have a tendency to blunder right in, to make a mistake due to our eagerness, due to our enthusiasm. So it just behoves us to be a little bit careful again about what we start and what we, promise under the new moon energy, because we could be rushing in where fools fear to tread, as they say. One analogy that I find particularly beautiful with the period of the new moon is that it's a lot like Jesus in the tomb. We've come through a process since the full moon in Scorpio of the moon waning, getting smaller and smaller until it kind of, let's say, dies and disappears. It's gone. It's in the tomb. And then, lo and behold, 3 days later, just like Jesus was in the tomb for 3 days, it emerges and is reborn. So there's a very strong analogy here with that, the imagery of being in the tomb, or Jonah in the whale for 3 days. There is this rebirthing phase that goes on when the moon is invisible, ready for a fresh start. And when the moon emerges out the other side, it's like, ta-da! The momentum of having arrived, of having been rebirthed. Exciting stuff. New moons are fun for that reason. So during this time, we can be very attuned to the other realms, taking on guidance. Like I said, it's not a time yet for action until the moon becomes visible, but we're taking on board guidance. We're integrating messages from spirit into our soul under the new moon when it's dark, the dark of the moon's like this. Even if we haven't put them into action, we are integrating it and considering on it, sitting with it, tapping out, going into spirit, preparing our soul to make a move. It is a time when our imagination can be strong though, and we can get caught up in our imaginatory world and our visioning, and we kind of can tend to lose touch with reality under a new moon. So do keep that in mind. Again, probably another reason why it's not necessarily a good idea to initiate anything in those 3 days when the moon is dark. And sometimes, this is not true for all people, but for some people, they might find that, they forget other people under the new moon energy. I'm not saying that, you go to the supermarket and leave your baby in the car or anything horrible like that. But, you might forget that other people need attention and other people need recognition. They need honoring, they need loving too, because maybe you get caught up in your own needs. It's harder to fulfill our needs when the moon, the planet of having our needs met, is invisible, and we forget that there are others that need their, general needs met too, of love and appreciation and kindness. So try to consciously be aware of acting more loving, acting more kind under the new moon energy, so that we don't, overlook those that need our love. I would encourage you under the dark of the moon to trust your heart. Evaluate what it is you love at this time. So sit with it, think about it. What is it that I love? What is meaningful to me? And then when the moon becomes visible, which will be sort of on the 14th of May, and that's also the day Jupiter moves into Pisces, so very timely combination of the two there. Move into that with confidence. Move into what you love with confidence. Use the dark of the moon to plan, to mull over something, to mentally prepare. And when the moon is visible on the 14th, take action. Move into what you love and what your intention is. How do we create a right energy space for a new moon in the sign of Taurus? Well, I love creating right energy space, and as I'm doing this video for you, I've got some incense burning beside me, which is just giving me that beautiful uplift of that glorious scent. It's amazing how the senses, Taurus, can be so powerful in lifting our vibration. So hence I decided I would burn some incense while I'm doing a Taurian new moon video. So when the moon is in Taurus, we want to create the right energy space to bring in abundance, to create the vibration of abundance in our life and prosperity in our lives. So on the visibility of the moon, around the 14th, you might like to check an app or something like that to make sure that it is visible in your part of the world on the 14th. I'm using Australian time, of course. But under the visible moon, we can use that time to energetically invite in prosperity and abundance into our realm, into our lives. So how we can do this is we could take a green candle. Green obviously correlates with the earth sign Taurus, but a green candle is generally associated with prosperity as well. So take a green candle, light the green candle. You know, I love candle work. It's one of my favorite things to create right energy space. Light it, and maybe surround your particular energy space that you're doing this in with things that are precious to you, things that you value, things of beauty as well, to create a peaceful, calm energy, the nature of Taurus, as you watch the flames. So that might be things like incense. You know, you might want to burn some incense beside the candle. You might want to put on some beautiful music, whatever lifts your soul. I mean, remember, Taurus is sensory. Taurus is about anything you can touch, taste, see, hear, or smell. So beautiful music you can hear, incense that you can smell, essential oils you might like to rub into your hands or on the, you might rub it into the candle even. Some people do that, which is a very tactile thing you can feel and touch, obviously, as well as smell if they're scented essential oils. You might use potpourri as something beautiful to look at, and sometimes that smells very nice too. Anything tactile, anything sensual. Fill your little, let's call it an altar space or your sacred space, with those kinds of beautiful things to create that beautiful energetic feeling. So once you've set that up and you've got into a meditative state by just watching the flickering of the flame for a few minutes, take a piece of paper and start to write down what you need money for in your life. Now, we're not talking about, oh, I need money for a $500,000 Ferrari. No. We're talking about what is going to help your life to feel more stable, more calm, the energy of Taurus, less volatile. Maybe you've got bills that you need to pay. Write that down. I need to enough money to be comfortably able to pay my electricity bill or my heating bill or whatever it happens to be. You might want to write down, I need money for food to feed my family, quite legitimate, to pay my mortgage. I need money because I want to take my children on a nice holiday, and or I've been working really hard and I deserve to have a rest, and I want to go to a nice place for a relaxing holiday. That's legit. Like, this is not, we're not talking opulence here. Like, we want prosperity, and there's nothing wrong with being wealthy and rich. But when we're looking at Taurus, Taurus correlates to the second house, which, let me show you how it works. Let's say in the general horoscope, we see Aries as the first house. What sits under the first house? The second house. It supports our body's journey through life. There are other houses, Aquarius being one of them, and the 5th house and the 9th house, 11th house, 5th house, and 9th house, that have to do with in the case of Leo, sort of the luxuries, the pleasures, the indulgences, the blessings of life are the 9th house, and the 11th house is the rewards and the gains, the opulence that we can get from our work and our worldly achievements. And that can go like large scale. Second house is supporting our body and its journey. So what do you need financially to support your body's journey? To be able to be relaxed, Taurus, to be calm, Taurus, to feel safe in the world, Taurus, to feel secure in the world, Taurus. This is all Taurus energy. So write down your list, bills, food, holiday, healthcare, whatever it is you need, make that list. Then take a coin, any size coin that you would like to use. In Australia, we might use a 20-cent piece. In America, you might, use a dime, whatever you feel called to use. It's fine. It's all the symbolism, not the actual coin itself. It's the energetic momentum and the intention that you're putting into this, rather than, oh, I've used a $100 bill. No, just whatever you feel comfortable using. That coin, it's a symbol of prosperity. That's what it represents to you. It's about having enough, having more than you need to feel comfortable. You might like to add a few drops of your essential oil to that coin, or put some potpourri with that coin in the center of your piece of paper, whatever you feel inclined to do. And then wrap that coin up in the paper with all your monetary desires. Tie the paper with a green ribbon, green for prosperity again. And you might like to take your green candle and drip candle wax onto, your ribbon to sort of seal it, or onto the paper to seal it, and to create a little package, so to speak. And as you do so, you might like to use a mantra. I'm using one from Louise Hay. You might have a mantra for prosperity that you prefer. You can use whatever you would like. But you might, as you wrap this up and make this little package, you might like to repeat the mantra below. I choose to forgive myself for my past choices with money. Money now flows to me with ease and with grace. I give gratitude to the universe for the money that I have, and I welcome in the prosperity that is to come to me. So you might like to write down that mantra, and you might like to use that as you prepare your little package. So from now on, simply carry that little parcel with you in your wallet, or in a pocket or something like that, or in a handbag, until the money and the prosperity that you have asked for comes into your life, until your material circumstances stabilize and become secure. And once you've attracted money for the items on your list, then what you can do is bury your parcel. Bury your parcel in an abundant corner of your garden. Remember, Taurus, here it is, Taurus has to do with nature and the environment. And so you take your coin, and it's like giving back to the earth and saying thank you for the money, and bury your little coin package in a beautiful flower bed or under a lovely tree, somewhere that is not just a salt-ridden wasteland, but somewhere beautiful where there is a lot of abundance. Do this with gratitude, do this with thanks to the universe, and you've really created a beautiful energetic space and an energetic presence to work with Taurus energy of prosperity. Let's go through the new moon effect for each sign now, and what we're looking at here is really the manifestation time. So, the new moon occurs on the 12th. It's a time for becoming introspective, as we've said, and then by the 14th, we start to put our introspection into action, and we will take action in the house that the new moon occurs for us. So let's have a look at what that's like. Let's start with Taurus, because they're the lucky ones who've got it in their first house this time around. So for Taurus sun or moon or rising people, this is a time when you can make over yourself, get a whole fresh start, a whole new beginning with your looks, your image, and the personality that you are giving off to the world. So get a manicure, buy a new outfit, especially in Taurus, which is all about, stuff. Maybe a new haircut, or, get a, what do they call them, a face mask, or a, treatment or something like that. Do something to rebirth, regenerate, and renew your image now. When you are looking your best, you will feel better. You'll feel good about yourself. And so you can heighten your own sense of value by focusing on your external self right now and your image. Now, if you're someone who tends to hide who you are from the world and sort of keep to yourself, keep quite shy or whatever, then you can actually have a bit of an internal overhaul at this time that could help you step forward with more confidence as well. This is a house of confidence, and it's a house of assertion. So you might get a new opportunity to do that. And if you do, I would encourage you to take it. Not that everyone has to be brash and extroverts, but we should all shine our light. In fact, you will hear me say this time and time again. If we don't shine our light, if we don't show up and be truly fully ourselves and in the beauty that we have, and everyone is beautiful. If we don't do that, then the divine misses its one and only opportunity to know the energy that is you. So step out and shine now. And of course, under this new moon energy, it doesn't feel quite so uncomfortable to be in the spotlight. So enjoy your moment in the sun. All right, we're going to whiz through these today. We're going to look now at Gemini. No, we'll go the other way, I think. Aries, whoopsies, Aries rising, sun or moon people. The energy of the new moon for you is falling in the second house of the horoscope. For you people, you might actually get a bit of a desire to spend money now. It's not necessarily a bad thing to do so. Just act with wisdom and caution. And remember what I said, in the dark of the moon, it's actually not the best time to take action. You might need a new car, you might need a new wardrobe, you might need more food in the pantry or something. You know, maybe if you can put it off a day or two till the moon becomes visible, then take action. But maybe under the new moon, think about what it is you need in your life to support your body's journey, and then take action and go out and purchase those things that you need, because this is the house of resources for living, and you might need a fresh start in some way with your resources. In a nutshell, be wary of impulse buying under this new moon energy. I'd also encourage you, Aries people, to take this time to plan and do a budget, to work out what it is that you need to help your life materially run smoothly and effectively for you. How you're going to spend your money, where your money goes. Really get into it, go deep with it. And you might find that you are able to really transform. Remember, this is a new moon of transformation. You might be very much able to transform your current financial situation in a significant way under this new moon energy. It can be a really good energy, actually, for stimulating your self-esteem, particularly once the moon becomes visible on the 14th. So it's a good time to look at what is holding you back in terms of self-esteem, where you feel you're lacking confidence and you'd like more sense of value and self-worth. It's a great time for introspecting that, integrating those ideas, and then taking action to make changes regarding your value and your worth in the world. So that can be really good too. And it's also because Taurus is so tactile, it's a good time. You will desire more tactile experiences, and it's a good time to enjoy them, basically, under this new moon. They can help you feel really good. They can lift your spirits. They can also trigger the energy of making fresh starts as well for you. So, you go out to a restaurant, you have a beautiful, vegetarian dinner one day, and you come home and decide, I'm going to be a vegetarian, and you make changes based on a sensory experience of going and enjoying some beautiful food. That's just one example. You can shift your values and have fresh starts with your values second house through tactile experiences that you encounter under this new moon. Quite exciting. Okay, Pisces rising, sun or moon people. This new moon is falling in the third house. The third house is of communications, writing, speaking, talking, workshopping, sharing, and under this new moon influence, you may find that you get more opportunities to share them. You might be busier now with, admin stuff and social media, and maybe invited to run a workshop or something like that. You might be talking more on the phone or sending more emails, just busier. And that can be fun, especially if you run your own business, let's say, and you want more correspondence and you want more clients and what have you. That can be a good thing. You can make fresh starts with your day-to-day activities as well, with your administration for a small business if you have one. But above all, you'll be wanting to keep busy with what you're doing. So new moon will give you the chance to be busy and active and achieving a lot. Sometimes the third house can be what's connected to our mind, and we can worry a bit when we have activity going on in the third house. We can overthink things. We can get caught in the mental whirlpool of our heads. Well, I would encourage you to take steps to mitigate that under this new moon. Meditate, pray, introspect, journal. Do things that calm the mind. And of course, for Pisces people, their minds can be generally quite calm and solid and strong because Taurus is the sign of the third house, so that's really good. But, even under this energy, it would be a great thing, Pisces, to really focus on mental balance now. You might like to, download an audiobook by Eckhart Tolle or Louise Hay or Deepak Chopra or somebody like that who can provide some source of transformation and even source of mysticism, Neptune, in your mental processes, help you get on track with mental balance. The third house is also the house of the money that we make through our own skills and abilities. So hence it is a house connected with small business, with trading and buying and selling. So if you're a Pisces person and this is a field that you work in or have to do with in some way, maybe also advertising and marketing as well, which is seen from this placement too, you might get a fresh start with your business, a chance to turn over a new leaf, a fresh start with an advertising project or a promotional plan, and you might get some new momentum that is born regarding these things, or even social media and communications. New momentum, new energy that is birthed now, like Jesus coming out of the tomb, as we said. But you'll probably notice this mostly on the 14th of May. You may attribute it to your ruling planet Jupiter moving into your sign, hey? But there will also be a fairly hefty dose of new moon energy as well, giving you that much needed boost in the realm of the third house of communications, small business, writing and speaking. So it looks like a good time for fresh starts for Pisces people in those realms. Now, if you are an Aquarius rising, sun or moon person, the new moon is falling for you in the 4th house. This is an angular house, therefore it's quite significant. Angular houses are always felt very strongly when they're activated by, anything really, but particularly a new moon or a full moon. This can give you the inspiration for something new to emerge in your domestic environment and your home life. You might, during the dark of the moon, be inspired or receive some sort of psychic download about, transforming your living room or extending the house in some way or planting a new vegetable garden or whatever. And then when the moon becomes visible, you take action and start to see changes and new transformations occurring in the realm of your home. It could also manifest in the realm of your family connections and family life and family relationships. Remember, this moon is all about relationships too, so it could be very strong in that regard for you as well. This is a very deep emotional house, the 4th house, and so you might find that your emotions under this particular energy are very pronounced. Not in a bad way. It's not like you're moody and having big mood swings and stuff like that, but you will just be very sensitized. So I would just say, Aquarius people, be kind to yourself under this moon, because our empathic skills are actually heightened. And that can sensitize us, especially if we're in an environment where people are suffering and people are sad, and we're picking up on that very strongly. So be kind to yourself and give yourself the space you need if you find that you are not coping with your emotional sensitivity. It's also a highly intuitive house. And the new moon, as we talked about in the intro, is going to be really fizzing with intuitive energy. And so here for you guys, it's amplified even more. So trust your intuition now, trust your gut instincts, maybe detach a bit and observe what you're thinking and what is going on in your gut, like gut feeling about things, your higher self sending you messages, and then just think on those things. And then when the moon becomes visible on the 14th, take action on your intuition. Pay attention to them. They're not false messages under this moon. They are going to be for your greater benefit. All right, so Capricorn rising, sun or moon people. Well, the energy of this new moon is falling for you in the lucky 5th house. Well, this is a time for some fun. New moon in the luxurious sign of Taurus, which likes a good time and likes a bit of ease. For you Capricorn people in the house of parties and entertainments, you might find that you have a lot of opportunities for joy and opportunities for fun. Maybe that might even be a fresh start with entertainment and fun in your life. Maybe you've had a period where it's been dry and, tumbleweeds rolling down the street of your entertainment pleasures, and now all of a sudden it's party city and everyone's popping out with a party hat on. So it could be really good times for you under this new moon. You will also probably feel less reclusive and want to get out more and connect more and interact more with others too. This could be a real transformation to go through these experiences, to have fun, to play, to indulge your childlike spirit. So pay attention to that. If your inner child wants to play, then give it space to do so. If you want to get out the finger paints like you did when you were 3, get out the finger paints. You might be astounded at what this new moon reveals to you through playing and connecting with your inner child. Now, this is also a house of romance. We know Taurus is tactile. So, hey, get your tactile on with your partner or with a romantic situation, or being romantic with yourself. You know, as I said, getting in touch with your childlike spirit and playing. You know, maybe as a child you liked bubble baths. Well, there's a lovely tactile experience that's actually kind of quite romantic. Set up some candles and some classical music and some chocolates and a glass of wine and jump on in. Sounds like fun. Or do that with a partner. You know, connect with a partner doing some sort of tactile, beautiful, romantic experience like that as well. Could be really lovely. You might also discover a new hobby under this influence, and a hobby that could transform you. This is the house of what we do for fun, for joy, for pleasure, and that's what a hobby should be. If it's not fun, what are you doing it for? And under this influence, which is very transformative, remember we discussed in the beginning, you might find that some sort of hobby or pleasurable activity transforms you, changes you, deeply renews you, and allows you to get that feeling of fresh starts and being reborn. I love it. So if someone suggests, hey, do you want to go and visit some art gallery or something like that, or do some sort of pleasurable hobby together, and don't hesitate. Jump on in. You might discover something that really changes your life. All right, Sagittarius rising, sun or moon people. The energy of this new moon, not full moon, is falling in the 6th house for you guys. Let me hold that straight there. It's falling in the 6th house. The 6th house is a interesting house. Let's just leave it at that. It's a very interesting house, but it has some higher manifestation qualities and some rather difficult lower manifestations. The highest manifestation is to serve, to help, to heal, to fix. The highest manifestation is having, a healthy lifestyle and good routines and enjoying our work. Lower manifestation of the 6th house is things like disease, poverty, ill health, being bullied, enemies, kind of yucky, problematic stuff is 6th house lower vibrating energy. It's also the house of burning and resolving, in that sense, our past life karma. So when the new moon falls here, what does that then mean? It means a fresh start, a new rebirth with your routines that affect your body and your routines that affect your health. Maybe a fresh start in work too. You might get a new opportunity to turn over a new leaf or be reborn in some way at work. Maybe you've been working in a team at work with some colleagues and it's just not gelling and it's frustrating and you're just tearing out your hair, and then along comes your team leader, some boss, and says, hey, how about you come and work in this team because I think you probably have a greater contribution to make there. And you're like, yes, thank you. New beginning with work. Just one illustration. New start with your exercise, your health, your, what you're doing. Like you might decide you're going to go walking for 45 minutes every day, and you commit to a new routine. And establishing that when the moon becomes visible, not on the dark of the moon, but when the moon becomes visible on the 14th, you might actually really set in motion a whole new health routine that will transform you. Hello, trine to Pluto. Transformed health, transformed well-being that comes. Of course, this is where we can serve as well, as I said. So look for ways that you can bring compassion, Neptune's sextile to this energy, compassion, kindness. Remember, this is the energy of this new moon, the compassion, the kindness. Look for ways you can bring that into ways to serve. Maybe, your neighbor is sick and you take them some soup, or your mother is having trouble mowing her lawn these days, so you go and mow her lawn. Like, where can you be kind? Where can you be compassionate? Look to do that. Look to help. Look to heal. And you are going to channel such beautiful energy from this new moon, rather. That can help others, yes, and fix problems for others, but will also transform and heal you on so many levels as well, thanks to the input of the two outer planets involved with this particular new moon. So for Scorpio rising, sun or moon people, the energy of the new moon for you is falling in the 7th house. Boom. House of partnership, house of connections with others, house of balance, house of harmony. What does this mean? Well, this is where you might be making some new beginnings, and I would encourage you to look at doing so when the moon becomes visible on the 14th. Up until then, just mull over things. Maybe you need to make a fresh start with a partner or a business relationship. Maybe you need to sign a new contract. Mull things over. And then when the moon becomes visible, take action to making that new beginning. You know, maybe you might need to come and apologize. Taurus has sort of loose connections to forgiveness because it's ruled by the planet Venus, planet of forgiveness. Neptune also too has connections to forgiveness and is obviously tying into this new moon quite benevolently. So maybe you need to go and ask for forgiveness from your partner. Do so when the moon becomes visible. Maybe you need to generate more love in your relationships. Take action to do so. It's a time for actually instigating that under this new moon. It happens once a year for you that you have a new moon in the 7th house. So make the most of it with your connections, with your partnerships, with your relationships. And that includes with clients. And it also includes with your audience, the people out there in the world. You are here, Scorpio. Everyone else is over here. So make fresh starts in that regard. In doing so, you will not only give a fresh lease of life onto a relationship, but you will also transform yourself through the energy of Pluto and Neptune aspecting this new moon. You will transform the relationships. You will transform your own idea of the relationships, your own perception. Remember, the outer planets influence your inner energy that then cause external change. So you're going to be the one who changes because of this new moon, and that will then result in changes in your relationships with other people. I think it's very exciting for you Scorpio people. Okay, if you are Libra rising, sun or moon, the energy of this new moon in Taurus is falling in your 8th house. Well, this is the house of other people's money. It's the house of taxes and joint finances. So you might have to deal with these themes, particularly with Taurus as the sign here, which has to do, as we know, with our sensual and tactile and material experiences on Earth. So it's actually, when the moon becomes visible on the 14th, it's a really good idea to pay any bills, to pay any taxes due under this influence. If you need a loan for something, you could go for it now. It's a house of sex as well. So new fresh starts with your intimate relationships could be on the cards. You know, maybe you haven't had sex in ages, and lo and behold, here comes a new moon in your house of intimacy, and boom, it's all on. Or all off, depending on how you're viewing this. But that is one of the manifestations for this, a fresh start that could come in matters of intimacy, which is lovely. And you might find that you get to enjoy a tactile, sensual relationship with somebody, you know, and if you're in that kind of a situation already, it could take it to the next level, take it to new heights. And you could feel reborn and reinvigorated and transformed through your sexual experiences now, through deep, intimate bonding with another person. You might come out the other side of, you know, like you might be in a relationship and sex is a regular occurrence, and, you know, but this time, wow, you come out the other side and you feel like a whole new person, and you see the world through a whole different lens. And the sexual act can be that transformative when you have a new moon in this realm. So quite exciting if you are a Libra rising sun or moon person, I should say. Not only sex, but your ability to know intimacy as well, to know the depths of your partner, but also even the depths of yourself, the intimate side of yourself, you know, even the hidden shadow side of yourself can be renewed under this. Now, we are going into the dark of the moon in one of the dark houses of the horoscope. So it is really a deep time of introspection for you, a deep time of purging and releasing for Libran people now. Do the psychological work. Do the deep introspective work. You will not regret it. It will empower you. And when the rebirth of the moon occurs on the 14th, then lo and behold, you can emerge victorious in your own personal power. I love this. And so I encourage every Libran to do some form of therapeutic work to really channel the energy of this new moon to the best advantage. Okay. Virgo rising, sun or moon people. you are having this new moon fall for you in the 9th house, the luckiest house, according to Vedic astrology, in the horoscope. Well, this is the house of the expansion of self through adventure, through other cultures, through higher learning. Really, the crux of the 9th house is to want to become bigger. It's generally got a connotation to Jupiter. So when the new moon occurs here, you might feel transformed through some of these things, through travel, through some sort of learning, some sort of high learning and exploration of higher-minded topics, and it could really change you. So if you are a Virgo person, do consider perhaps doing a course, doing some form of study that will liberate and expand your mind and soul. And you might like to start it when the moon becomes visible on the 14th. You will be supported energetically in doing that. It will help rebirth you. It will help transform you. So, you can look at some of the courses at my site. Remember, if you're a patron with me, you actually get a discount on, and Gold Star members get them for free, access to my courses. So make the most of that. You could really harness some beautiful 9th house energy, but also plenty of other online courses and stuff out there that deal with higher-minded things, philosophies, beliefs, spiritual perspectives, anything like the law, medicine. Like, go in deep and enjoy this. If you're someone who deals with foreign affairs in any way, cross-cultural affairs, maybe you're buying and selling and trading on a large scale or something like that, this gives you perhaps the chance for a fresh start, to turn over a new leaf, maybe to release a new product to the international market even. Maybe if you're an inspirational figure who, like Eckhart Tolle or someone, and you're speaking to large groups of people with words of wisdom, words of profound inspiration, this new moon might give you a whole new idea for a message to be shared, as the guru, as the teacher, and you might be inspired yourself. If you follow a guru, if you follow a teacher, this is a new moon where you might receive some sort of very inspiring message from them or download from them that transforms your life. Remember, this is a new moon of transformation with ease and grace, and that can come through inspirational figures. So I love this new moon for you, Virgo people. If you're thinking about traveling, I know it's been difficult for the last little while around the world, but if travel is somehow on the cards for you, this is a house of travel, then I would just hold off until the moon becomes visible before you book a ticket, before you pay a deposit on your hotel or whatever. Before you take action, give yourself that time for the moon to become visible. Just a heads up there. If you're Leo rising, sun or moon people, well, the new moon is falling in an angular house for you, and that makes it very strong and very powerful. Angular houses manifest very intensely, shall we say, but in a good way. Now, this is a house that has to do with career, it has to do with life path and purpose, worldly achievements, legacy that we want to leave, and our social reputation. And the new moon here can give you fresh starts in those realms. It might give you an opportunity to, maybe get a promotion and get involved with a new project of some sort, or to make a transformation to your social reputation. Remember, we've got Pluto and Neptune playing into this with ease and grace. Maybe your social reputation was fine and, you weren't sort of maligned by anybody or anything like that. And, you're chuffing along really nicely with your public persona. And along comes this new moon with transformation, ease and grace, and suddenly, like you rescue a baby from a burning building and everybody's saying, oh, how wonderful you are, how exceptional you are, and oh, you're a hero, and so on and so on. Your public persona can go through a real boost with ease and grace. Not that it's easy or graceful rescuing a baby from a burning building, but you know what I mean. Something might happen that really boosts your public profile, your reputation in the world. Which is wonderful. Who wouldn't want that to happen? Pluto is personal power tapping into this new moon most easily, most beautifully. And so, you could have a powerful transformation of change of reputation. an up-leveling of reputation. Also, worldly achievements as well. Worldly achievements are things like, anything where your heart is, anything that your heart is involved in wanting to leave as a legacy for those who come after you. So, you could get an opportunity, such as a recording contract, or the chance to be on the West End or something, or to, join a certain company that you really esteem and you value. There could be opportunities galore that come your way, and usually they will manifest on the visibility of the moon on the 14th of May. So something to look forward to there. You stand to receive and do very well out of this new moon, this beautiful new moon, Leo people. Don't be also surprised if some authority figures enter into your life with an opportunity for transformation as well. Maybe somebody offers you the chance to speak at a certain gig, or somebody gives you the chance to join their platform or something. Somebody who is an authority in their field, a master in their realm, connects with you and wants to take things to the next level with you. So it could be really fun. All right, Cancer rising, sun or moon people. The energy of this new moon is falling for you in the 11th house. The 11th house is a very blessed house, but it is an Upachaya house, and it does mean things get better in time. But with a new moon here, that still applies, but perhaps the length of time is not like a lifetime long. So you may not see immediate results, but within a week or 2 or 3, you might start to see the rewards start to blossom for you from what you establish under this new moon. Now, it's a house of rewards and gains. It's a house of what we work at in the world, and the results we get from the work we do in the world. So the work we do is 10th house, and the results from the work we do is, and the career that we aspire to is seen by the 11th house. So you could have a fresh start in that realm. Maybe you've had a dream or a goal to, release an album or write a book of poetry or something like that, or release some photographs of little fairy images for children or whatever. And you've had this goal, this dream, and you get the chance to manifest it now. This is the house of goals and dreams. So, use this dark of the moon period on the new moon, to think about what you're going to do, what you want to manifest, how it's going to work. And then when the moon becomes visible on the 14th, take action. Get that little girl dressed up in her little fairy dress and go take her out in the forest and take some photos, or start writing that book of poetry when the moon becomes visible on the 14th. Take action on your dreams and goals, and you will see them slowly manifest, like I said, in an Upachaya way. It's an Upachaya house, gets better with age. You will see those dreams and goals slowly manifest and blossom and fruit in time from what you establish and instigate now. Now, it's also a house of friendship. That can mean transformation of friendships that occurs with this influence, remember, but easy transformation and blessed transformation. Trine from Pluto, sextile from Neptune. So what might that look like? Well, maybe you've been feeling estranged from someone who was your friend for a long time. Well, lo and behold, here comes a new moon. It could change everything, and you could be back in one another's good books again. It could transform a relationship that's been just an acquaintance and take it to a deeper level where you become bestest buddies. Really changing the dynamic of relationships for the good, for the better, and with ease. No effort required. It just happens, and boom, you're in wonderland with a friendship, which is, of course, could be very, very lovely and very beautiful. Finally, this is a house of humanitarian efforts and reaching the masses. I would say with the new moon here that you might get a chance perhaps to be on a public stage in some way, whether that's through social media or a literal public stage, just reaching people for some reason. Look, it could be that you're up on stage getting an actual award for something. This is the house of awards and recognitions, and you're in front of the masses in that regard. So, it could manifest like that for you as well. But fresh starts with friendships, fresh starts with dreams and goals, they are the main themes of this new moon for you Cancer rising people. And finally, Gemini. Beautiful Gemini people. This energy, thank you for waiting till last, is falling in your 12th house. Well, the 12th house, what a house. I love it actually. This is a time when you might actually get, in the dark of the moon, some really serious psychic downloads. And by serious, I mean, it's like your ancestors are trying to get a message through to you. So maybe do some channel writing, you know, or automatic writing when the moon is dark. You know, remember we were talking about those psychic downloads, and with this sextile and trine, it's going to be very, very strong for Gemini people. So listen to your intuition now. Be very tuned into that. Now, don't take action. Like, let's say you do some automatic channel writing, and you know you get a message to go and do X, Y, Z. You know, if you do this, the universe will be supporting you. Well, don't rush out the front door and go and do it. Wait until the moon becomes visible on the 14th before you take action from these divine messages you might have psychically received over the dark of the moon. Keep that in mind. But it's through these experiences, these otherworldly experiences, these connections with deceased ancestors, or you know, other ethereal planes. It's connection with those people, those things, those energies that could really transform you and change your life under this new moon if you work with these energies wisely. You know, you could even, and we talked about the ritual, you could even invite in the support of your ancestors to help you manifest what you need financially with that ritual, and that creation of energy space. So invite the ethereal realms to work with you. Make sure you've got plenty of boundaries in place for the energies that you don't want to work with. You know, invite in only people who are of light and love. I underline that for you. And get the support of the heavenly realms, the support of the divine, with the intentions that you want to see manifest under this new moon. This is a house of bed pleasures as well, just to get back into the earthly realm here. And the delights that we have in the bedroom. Hello, this could be a lot of fun, particularly when the moon becomes visible on the 14th. You could have a lot of good times with a lover, or just pleasures in the bedroom. I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I don't have a lover, but when I'm in my bedroom, one of my favorite things to do is curl up in bed with a good book and a hot cup of, I don't know, chai tea or something like that. And that's, to me, one of the most, I'm such a Pisces, but that's one of the most pleasurable experiences. And you might get fresh starts and new joys out of your bedroom pleasures, sexual or otherwise, you know. Pleasure in the bedroom is a 12th house thing. It's a place of escape from the mundane everyday. I mean, I know we go to sleep every day, but you know, the routines, the rituals that we have to do to make our life work. Well, sleep is an escape from that, isn't it? And being in bed and curling up with a book and having fun is an escape from having to, you know, brush the toilet down or something. So go to those places and enjoy those places. This new moon is supporting that. You might get fresh insights, fresh psychic downloads as you do that, as you connect with 12th house themes under this new moon, Gemini. So that's a whiz around the horoscope for this new moon in Taurus, which looks like it's going to be glorious and very special. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to close with a prayer, and then we might cut straight to any bloopers that have come out of this video. I love you all, and thanks for joining me. Energy of love, what a privilege it is to be here to witness this new moon energy. May it fill us with joy and light and love. May we find that our lives become more Taurian in the positive sense because of this. May we become calmer, more stable, more secure in what we're living in this incarnation. We thank you for this new moon, and thank you for everyone in the Patreon family. It is so lovely to connect here on this channel. And so it is. I'll catch you next time. Hello and welcome to this week's new moon. Well, that's what most astrologers will tell you, but well, I don't mean to sort of big note